Welcome to the next episode of the Dark Web Deacon. Before we begin, be sure to smash that subscribe button, click the bell to turn on notifications. New videos are published every Monday and Thursday, and as always, be sure to like and provide comments. So here's a question that may become key to your privacy in 2021 and beyond. Are you going to readily participate in a full-scale contact tracing program for COVID-19? A survey of 580 Americans conducted among consumers and IT professionals by data security company SecureAge suggests that a clear majority of these groups believe COVID-19 contact tracing technologies put individuals' personal identifiable information at risk. Despite this, both groups generally believe that these types of tools could help cut down the impact of the disease and would support a nationwide rollout of the technology in spite of privacy concerns. More than 90% of both groups said they were at least a little bit concerned about the technology collection of personal data, although experts viewed the risk as more severe than consumers. But respondents were supportive of a hypothetical wide-scale rollout of contact tracing technology nonetheless. 2/3 of consumers said they'd be somewhat or very likely to back the move, while 91% of professionals in IT threw their weight behind the movement. The scales were tipped a bit when the source of these tools was specified. If an app or alerting system came from a big tech company like Google, Facebook, or Apple, consumers and professional IT folks' confidence shifted to 62% and 82% respectively. These responses are absolutely mind-boggling to me. The cases of abusing personal data for profit, attacking political opponents, or using this data for dubious surveillance is lengthy. From Edward Snowden's revelations about the US government spying on citizens post 9/11, to the Facebook and Cambridge Analytica debacle, Google selling technology to the Communist Party to help them spy on their citizens, Twitter allowing doxing and censorship, and even outside the US, companies like Huawei, which worked with governments from at least 2 African countries to spy on political opponents in those elections. So what's the stance of the oligarchs in this situation? Well, when it comes to potentially violating the privacy of its citizens, the US government does have a little bit of a precedent on their side. In 1905, the Supreme Court ruled that the government can take steps to protect public health that might otherwise infringe upon the Bill of Rights. The ACLU published a lengthy white paper in April outlining privacy concerns that they said need to be taken into account in order for contact tracing tech to be effective. Apple and Google's proposals would use Bluetooth data to detect phone owners' potential exposure to people who have tested positive for COVID-19. The companies say they will take privacy-preserving approaches for the data collection. No one really knows what that means or what safeguards are in place around that. President-elect Biden has stated on his website he wants to build a national contact tracing workforce. Quote, once COVID-19 infected people are identified, we need to find those to whom they might have unwittingly spread the disease. Contact tracing is a core component of a robust national data-driven disease surveillance system. End of quote. Let me say that again. A robust, nationwide, data-driven disease surveillance system. Yet nothing could possibly go wrong with that. The big concern with gathering all this information, and privacy advocates are right about this and should be worried, is that it can be used to harass, it can be used to intimidate, it can be used to chill people's political activity. In the end, the wrong hands could even use this through a potential data breach. Britain decided for now to scrap its central database following similar decisions from Norway, Australia, and Colombia to go with a more decentralized solution, which is not exactly a silver bullet. The data is still out there, it's just decentralized. Proponents of centralized databases and applications have argued that they will generate tons of data that epidemiologists can use to track the spread of COVID-19, with more detailed information, including GPS location history and a list of everyone a person has come into contact with, which helps governments and makes public health decisions easier. All that is true. However, We've seen throughout history that surveillance and data collection programs run by governments and big technology almost always have mission creep, said Evan Greer, Deputy Director of Digital Privacy Group, Fight for the Future. Data collected for one purpose can be abused and used for things it was never intended to be used for, and he is right about that. In South Korea, for example, the government collects and publicizes extensive contact tracing data. That data has been used to identify and shame individuals who have gotten sick and contribute to the stigma against LGBTQ citizens who were involved in a recent outbreak that was traced back to bars that were friendly to that community. So why should this matter to you? Well, the effectiveness of tech-based contact tracing tools is tied to their adoption within a substantial portion of the general population. Issues like privacy have frequently been highlighted as impediments to widespread adoption. But the Secure Age survey suggests that this may not be a deal breaker, that the general population would probably be on board with this type of program. And this is where companies and governments will be complicit in the false choice, which will be given to those who don't want to participate. They'll tell you, don't worry, you don't need to participate, it's totally voluntary. But if you want to go back to the office to work, you need to be part of the program. Go to the grocery store? Well, you need to be part of the program. Go to a public park or the movies? Well, you need to be part of the program. Instead of government officials enacting new laws limiting liability for companies in case you do get sick at work so they aren't subject to erroneous lawsuits in this climate, or by providing better education rather than allowing the media create mass hysteria, or providing more advanced PPE to those who are most vulnerable in the population, COVID-19 can very easily be used as an invaluable tool to amass more control of the citizenry. And there are larger trends in play here. A big tech government collaboration on these tools is at the heart of Apple and Google's Bluetooth exposure notification system. This system, which is the first government app built on the API, went live in Virginia at the beginning of August. And since then, the companies have reworked the system so that public health authorities can have an app or reporting framework automatically generated for them with relatively minor input. As of September 1st, Apple and Google said that 25 US states, territories, and the District of Columbia have explored the technology for use among their populations. Do you really trust these companies with your data? Benjamin Franklin once said, "Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety." I can't think of a more perfect sentiment. If you are an active participant in big tech government contact tracing, you're handing over immense control, which that you will never get back, for a little temporary safety for a disease with a 99% survival rate that eventually will pass, like all pandemics have throughout history, many of which have been drastically more deadly. So my question to you all is, are you going to hand over your personal data, and are you willing and ready to participate in a nationwide, statewide, or global-wide COVID-19 contact tracing program? Curious what you think? Would love to hear in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and as always, please like, subscribe, and provide comments, and turn on notifications by clicking the bell in order to check out future videos published twice a week.